Hi, my name's Vicki Taylor. Welcome to the School of Jerusalem. Today we're going to cover a really big subject. We're really not going to cover it all today. This I call part one. Why are we here? That's the question. Why are we here in planet Earth? Why are we here in these bodies? Why are we here in these families? Well, I'm not going to answer that question fully tonight. And those questions, of course, is probably going to take us a lifetime to fully get a revelation of. But I'm going to first go into the word and show you a couple of things the word shows us why we're here. And then I'm going to go into um, some of my notes that I took from God saying why we're here. So let's just see how this works out. Jeremiah 35, 12 to 13 and 15. Then came the word of the Lord unto Jeremiah, saying, now we know the word of the Lord is Jesus. In the beginning was the word was with God, and the word was God, and the word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory. So this is all the way back to Jeremiah's time. The word of the Lord came to Jeremiah, and he heard and he saw God, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, go and tell the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, will you not receive instruction to hearken to my words, saith the Lord? I have also sent unto you all my servants the prophets, rising up early and sending them, saying, return ye now every man from his evil way, and amend your doings, and go not after other gods to serve them. And you shall dwell in the land when you've done this, which I've given to you and to your fathers. But you've not inclined your ear, nor hearkened unto me. So when it says, I have sent you, number one, will you receive instructions? I want to teach you. And I've sent to you all my servants, the prophets, rising up and sending them. So you may be one of those prophets that God's sending. Yes, back in Jeremiah's time, he talked to Jeremiah, but God has prophets, which are what they call seers, to see, to observe, to hear, and then to say what God is saying until the people can all be awakened and hear for themselves. And he said, I've sent to you my servants, the prophets. So you've got to understand some people have been sent here to be raised up as his servants, the prophets. Some people have been sent here to return every man from his evil way and amend their doings and don't go after other gods and serve them. So that's why some of the people were sent here. And they were sent here to receive instruction. Could they not receive instruction on the other side? Well, they could. But as you go through this teaching, you're going to see why we've been sent here. I show you Romans 8, 3 and 4. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh. Law means my teaching and instruction. What it could not do is that it was weak through the flesh. God sending his own son. So he sent him as a son. Well, guess what? God's also sending other sons and daughters, but sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law, the teachings and the instructions might be fulfilled in us, those who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. So some of us have been sent here, God sending his own son, and then you're going to see him talk about sons and daughters through the Bible. And that why? That we might have the righteousness of his teaching to be fulfilled in us and walk after the Spirit. So Jesus was sent here in the flesh to teach us how to walk after the Spirit. He experienced suffering so that he is merciful to us as we also learn through suffering. So because of his suffering, when he saw how it was when he was here, and the things he suffered, he learned obedience through the things he suffered. Well, now he's a merciful and long suffering and patient high priest. Now, does that look like a high priest that's on a cross? Well, let me tell you, that's a king. That's a king. So some people have been sent here for kingship training, but again, we've been sent here for many reasons. So I'm going to use the word first to show some of the reasons we've been sent here. So we are here to learn. We are here to learn. Psalms 119, 71 and 72. It is good for me that I have been afflicted, which means humbled and weakened, that I might learn. thy statutes, your conditions, your customs, your enactments. And that word, thy statutes, is hak. Hak in the Hebrew is how to live a life of holiness or separateness. I want that I might learn your conditions, your customs, and the way you act. It says that I might learn your statutes. The law, teaching and instruction of your mouth is better to me than thousands of gold and silver. So we come here that we might learn. And a lot of people don't think the teaching and instructions of God's mouth is more valuable than gold and silver. Some of them are stacking up gold and silver. But some people have come here and been humbled and learned, and they're learning from his mouth. 1 Corinthians 4, 5-7. So this is telling us we can learn, and we can learn from God's mouth. 1 Corinthians 4, 5-7. Therefore judge, or don't have opinions, nothing before the time, until the Lord come, till the Lord appear to you, who will both bring to light the hidden things of darkness. You know what? He's going to bring to light the hidden things of darkness within us. Why? So that we might learn, so that we might understand and have right judgments, right opinions. So don't judge or have opinions of nothing until the Lord appear to you and bring to light the hidden things of darkness in you, and will make manifest the counsels of the heart. The counsels of whose heart? Their hearts? Everybody, your family's hearts? Your children's hearts? No, your heart. He's going to manifest and bring to light the things in your heart. And then shall every man have praise of God. After he manifests the counsels of your heart and brings to light those hidden things, and you choose good and refuse evil, then you have the praise of God. And these things, brethren, I have in a figure transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sake, that you might learn in us not to think highly or above that which is written. Not to think, when it says of men is not there. That's just in italicized, saying that's not in the words. That you might learn in us not to think above that which is written, that no one of you be puffed up for one against another. Oh, so he's going to bring to our judgments, our opinions, and that we might learn, and that we not be puffed up one against another. What's puffed up mean? Puffed up means, oh, I'm greater than you are. Look, I know more than you know. Wait till he brings that to light, that attitude. For who maketh thee to differ from another? And what do you have that thou did not receive? Now, if you did receive it, why are you glorying as if you had not received it? In other words, oh, look at me. Look how great I am. Well, you're only great, in yourself by you receiving something. You weren't great. You were a mess. You were in darkness until God shines a light on it, and then you're still in darkness until you can say, God, deal with me. I don't want this darkness in me any longer. And you shouldn't be puffed up, because I promise you, everything we get, we have to receive it. We get it from God because, I'll say it, we're clay heads. We're here in these clay heads, and we're pretty dense at times. Hebrews 5, 7-10 says, during the days of Jesus's life on earth, why was he sent here? During his life on earth, he offered up prayers and petitions with fervent cries and tears to the one who could save him from death. And he was heard because of his reverent submission. So his life on earth, he had fervent cries and tears and submission. He had to submit himself. Son though he was a son. He learned obedience from what he suffered, and once made perfect, he became the source of eternal salvation for all who obey him, and was designated by God to be a high priest in the order of Melchizedek. So Jesus's life on earth, when he was here, it says why he was sent. He was sent to learn obedience. He was here. How did he learn obedience? Through what he suffered. How do we learn obedience? Through what we suffer. We've been sent here to suffer? Yes, sometimes we do. Sometimes we do suffer. Most of the time here on earth, there will be pain and suffering at times. That is a part of our process, as you will see in the teaching. So we are in earth school to learn by the teacher. And who's the teacher? Experience. It says, to learn, you must love discipline. It is stupid to hate correction. Proverbs 12:1. All the 12, chapter 12s in the Bible are for those that are going to learn to govern their mental. 12 is government. Government means govern your mental. And we've been sent here because we're going to have to learn to govern our mental if we're going to be an overcomer. So you're going to find one of the reasons we've been sent here is to overcome. So it says, we are students of God and increasing knowledge by our schooling. We're increasing and growing in knowledge. Knowledge of what? Well, some of our knowledge is of the world. Some of our knowledge is of evil, and some of our knowledge is of God. Some of our knowledge is of people, but we're increasing in knowledge. But, as any experience, teacher being our experience, we find out that we get corrected. We get corrected at times, and we love correction. We're like, Lord, correct me. If I'm wrong, I'll admit I was wrong. Just show me the right way. So we're here in this, I call it Earth School, because it is a place of learning, teaching, and getting experiences. Psalms 143:10. Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. Your spirit is good. May it lead me to the land of uprightness. So teach me to do your will, but this is a free will planet. And we have our free will to do what I want to do, my free will. But he says we're here, and if we will let him, if we will ask him, teach me to do your will, for you are my God. And say, Lord, correct me, discipline me. I'm okay. I'm okay with my free will being chastened because I want to learn. I want to learn the right ways while I'm here. I don't want to waste my little 70, 80, 90 years here on earth. If it's that long, I don't want to waste the time that I've been given here. We're sent here to grow. We're sent here to grow. 2 Peter 3:18. But grow in the grace and in the knowledge of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. To him be glory both now and forever. Amen. Grow in grace. And that word grow also means increase, and it means grow up. I haven't barely touched this in the word, but how do we grow? How do we grow in grace? Well, in the natural, you grow by eating good food, by drinking good water, good source of liquid, food, water, getting the right amount of sunlight, love, and the right amount of nurturing. That's how you grow in the natural. In the spirit, it types the natural. You must have good food. You must have truth of God. You must not have the lies. Lies will stunt your growth. You must know the grace of God, because if you're under the law of sin and death, that's also going to stunt your growth. There's just something in man. As soon as you say thou shalt not, then you're going to do the very thing it says thou shalt not do. And just because we're rebellious, and I'll be teaching on that a little bit more shortly too, because we won't be rebellious if we give in to our lessons here in planet Earth. 2 Corinthians 9:10. Now he that ministers seed to the sower both ministers bread for your food, and multiply your seed sown, and increase the fruits of your righteousness. I like how that's a smile and a wink. That, and we know we must live out of every word out of the mouth of God. That's what Jesus lived out of. That's how he became the author of eternal salvation, because he lived out of good food, every word out of the mouth of God. And and it increases the fruits of our righteousness, not his righteousness. Thank God for Jesus's righteousness. Thank God for the gift of righteousness. But can you imagine that we're here, and for the people who actually get good food from the mouth of God, and it increases the fruits of your righteousness, your right thinking, your right acting, your right emotions, your right feelings, your right walking it out, walking your salvation out day by day. 2 Corinthians 10:15 says, not boasting of the things without our measure, that is, of other men's labors, but having hope, when your faith is increased, that we shall be enlarged by you according to our rule abundantly. Now watch. It says that your faith, you've been sent here to have your faith to grow, to increase. The increase is part of why we're here. We're going to expand our knowledge. We're going to expand our faith. We're going to expand and grow fruit. We're going to expand our knowledge of grace and the amount of light of grace inside of us. So we're here to do that. And it says that we might be enlarged by you according to our rule abundantly. So, you know how we get enlarged as we grow, but our teachers, the ones who have been sent to help us, the angels who are with us, the people who've been sent to teach us, it enlarges them. So we're enlarging Paul and the angels that are with us. We're increasing them too, that we shall be enlarged by you, because you're going to find out we're all one. As we increase, we're increasing everyone's knowledge and expanding everyone's knowledge and light throughout the earth. Ephesians 4:15, but speaking the truth in love may grow up unto him in all things, which is the head, even Christ. So some people will speak the truth in love and grow up. I mean, they are here to grow up into the head. I mean, you can be a part of the body, and thank God for a part of the body, but can you imagine be up in the head realm where the real battles are, where the thinking, the imaginations, and all the things need to be dealt with, and we can grow up into him in all things. We've been sent here to grow up. Some people don't grow up. Some people might overcome one thing here. Some people might not overcome anything. Some people might come here and do terrible atrocities and like we've seen the boys that went and killed all those young people at Sandy Hook School. They were first and second graders. Well, they didn't grow up, and they weren't speaking the truth in love, and they certainly weren't growing up into the head. So not everybody will, of course, make it to that place to where they are increasing and growing up. Some actually go backwards. So it says, like newborn babes, crave the pure spiritual milk so that you may grow up in your salvation. So we can grow up into our salvation, into our healing, into our deliverances, into our being made whole. Now that you have tasted that the Lord is good. Taste and see that the Lord is good. But it's going to take some pure spiritual milk, and then it's going to take some strong meat to grow up. But that's what we've been sent here to do. We've been sent here to grow, to expand. And again, we'll talk more about it. In our school, we have to develop spiritual sensitivity. So these lessons can only be learned and experienced where evil exists, where trials and tests exist. Because so it says, for the time you ought to be teachers. So some of us have been sent here to be teachers. Some of us have been sent here to teach, to be taught, so that we can teach. When you ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, that be the first principles of the oracles of the sayings of God, and are become such as need of milk and not of strong meat. For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he's a babe. But strong meat belongs to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. So it's showing cutting the word up, being our strong meat. And you see someone here discerning both good and evil, and it's like, wait a minute, who am I hearing from? And even the fact that that you're hearing from thoughts and imaginations, images that may not be from good, may be totally lying to you. And you're discerning that, you're getting that experience. Well, you wouldn't have that experience on the other side. You get that experience here. And just like the book of James, which is actually Jacob, it says, rejoice in trials because it produces fruit in our lives. So we're here to have trials. We're here to have trials. And it's going to take trials to produce fruit. And then it says, ask God for wisdom because he gives it generously if you ask him. And we're going to need wisdom. But how many people don't ask for God for anything? And that's in next time's teaching. But you're going to see where, they go through great trials and they don't ask God. It's like, nope, I can do it myself. I don't need God. I don't even believe in God. And that's where a lot of people are. But the sons and daughters, we ask God for everything. It's like, God, I need wisdom. I need counsel right now. I need your help. Help. I'm going through something. I don't know what to do. So you're going to ask. And then it says, pursue godliness, godlikeness, instead of temporary earthly riches. A lot of people are not pursuing godlikeness or godliness. They're after the earthly riches. It's like, put more in my pocket, put more. I need more. And the more doesn't make them happy. Supposedly the man that shot up all those people in Las Vegas had lots of money. I'm talking like in the millions. He had the temporary earthly riches. He wasn't pursuing godlikeness because God does not kill, steal, or destroy. And he, as well as probably a multitude of others, were shooting up people. So, you can go after all the earthly riches and not be pursuing. So we're here to have trials, be asking God while we're walking this, and increasing our fruits, and persevere in our trials, for so that you will be blessed. So we're here to persevere. We're here to endure. We're here because we said we can do this. God, let us go to earth school. I know that I can handle these trials. And if you will persevere through them, don't give up. He that endureth to the end shall be healed, delivered, and made whole. And then don't give in to sin's temptations. Don't give in. That word sin in the Hebrew is the life of the serpent from the beginning. Don't give in to the serpent's temptations where he tempts you to do this and tempts you to do that. And you're just like, no, I'm not going to do it. If it's not of righteousness, doing the right thing, I'm not going to give in to you. And it says, don't let your loyalty be divided between God and the world. That's also in James 1. Don't be a double-minded man, because we've been sent here and we're going to feel schizophrenic. We're going to feel double-minded. We've been sent here to experience these things where evil exists and be tested, be tried and be tested. And that's how we develop into a more mature spirit for the other side. So after we learn, we are to teach. So labor to work his fields. Labor to work his fields. Psalm 51, 10-13. He says, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. So were we sent here with a clean heart and a right spirit? Not exactly. That's what our overcoming is about. He says, cast me not away from your presence, and take not your Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and uphold me with your free spirit. Then will I teach transgressors thy ways, and sinners shall be converted unto you. In other words, after I'm restored, after I'm upheld, after I'm taught, then I can teach. So we've been sent here many a times to go through these things to become teachers. Every time in the Bible where it says master and it's calling Jesus master, that word master is teacher. Master, we know you can do all things. Teacher, teach us how. How do you do these things? How do we do them? Ephesians 4:11-14. And he gave some come to the earth, and he gave some as apostles, and some as prophets, and some as evangelists, and some as pastors and teachers, for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying or building up of the body of Christ, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. So we've been sent here to either be built up, to come to be the mature man, or after a while we may be prophets, evangelists, pastors, teachers, could be kings and priests. But I want to point out for Paul, look at 2 Timothy 1:1. Whereunto I, Paul, am appointed a preacher and an apostle and a teacher of the Gentiles. He held 3 offices there. He's a preacher, an apostle, and a teacher. So it's not like you can only do one office. If you're a king and a priest, you can also walk as an apostle, as a prophet, as a teacher, and as even an evangelist. So you people are sent here, and they're going to carry different offices. They're going to grow to different places. It says Titus 2:3-4. The aged women likewise, that would be her in the gray, that you be in behavior as cometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to teach them to love their husbands and to love their children. So it's saying we come here, and hopefully we'll get to be separated, and we quit falsely accusing people. When it says not given to much wine, wine in the Bible is a type of hearing spirit, not given to hearing a lot of different spirits. You got to hear the spirit of truth in order to even get to that place to where you're not a false accuser, and that you can be a teacher of good things and teach young women to be sober and love their husbands and love their children. So, we're teaching people to love, and mainly by watching us. How do you do it? Well, watch. I mean, we have to learn how first. 1 Corinthians 3:6-9. Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. So we've been sent here, some of us to plant, some of us to plant the words that we hear from God, or water other words that people have had planted. But doing that, you're going to get a reward according to your labor. For we are laborers together, or we're going to say co-laborers together with God. For you are God's husbandry, which means you are God's farmland. You are God's tilled ground. You are God's building. So some people have been sent here. Now, does everybody come and plant the words of God and waters the words of God? And when I say the words that God is speaking to us on a day-by-day basis, the words that we are laboring to bring people back to remembrance of who they are, whose they are, where they come from, what they're to do here on earth, why they're here on earth. Remind them, do you know why you even came to earth? It wasn't to go steal another car. It wasn't to go and take more drugs and try to get high. It wasn't to, have more sex. You've been sent here to be God, to co-laborers with God. Some people said, okay, God, go there. Let me go. I will help all the ground get tilled, or I will help sow seeds in the ground that has been tilled. I will help to build up the building, your kingdom. So that's why some of us are sent here. Experience is a great teacher. So we've come here to get experiences. Ecclesiastes 1:14-18 says, I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, it's all vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight. I mean, the preacher is saying, everything that's done under the sun is vanity. And that which is a crooked, it can't be made straight. No use. Don't even try. And that which is wanting cannot be numbered. I communed with my own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to a great estate, and I have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart had great experience. And that word experience here is see. Roe is see. My heart could see. And I could see the wisdom and I could see the knowledge. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. So I saw the opposites. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increases knowledge increases sorrow. So that was his experience. He said, hey, and this was 1,000 years before Jesus came, and Solomon is just, saying how terrible everything down here is under the sun. Well, he hasn't finished the story yet, because there's a day when all the world will know the Lord, and as the knowledge of the Lord will cover the earth as waters cover the sea. They'll beat their swords into plowshares. There'll be such an amazing day. Everyone will go up. All of Egypt, all of the world will go up to be taught of the Lord in the Feast of Tabernacles. So he acted like in this time of his life, I knew everything and it's all vanity. Well, he came down here and that's what his experience was. His heart had great experience, and that's what he perceived. But that wasn't the end of the story. Romans 5, 3-5. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations. We glory in pressure, anguish, being burdened, persecution, and trouble. Also knowing that tribulation will work patience. All of the trouble we go through, all the pressure we go through will work into us patience, because you can see that there's a growth here. We're coming down here in this world. We have tribulation. And patience will bring us experience, and experience will bring us hope. And hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit, which is given unto us. So we experience pressures and trials and tests here that we could never even imagine in the place we came from. We heard about it, but until we came here, we had not experienced it. It's kind of like, and I've got this covered in the rest of the teaching, but it's kind of like reading a book about a place. I could read a book about going to Ireland. I could read a book about going to Ethiopia and read all about the country and read about the people. But I don't know that country until I go there and experience. Like I had heard about Israel. I had heard about the Jewish people. I had heard about the Muslims and the Islam. But until I went there and lived amongst them and experienced it, I didn't have an experience of the people until then. And so we could read on the other side. We can say, man, I've heard, or you can talk to people. I've heard that you've been to that earth school. Tell me about it. Well, they could tell you about their experiences, but until you experience it yourself, you will not understand. And that's what we've come here to do. We've come to experience what is it here? What is it? How hard can it be to have an emotion? How hard can it be to have my feelings? How hard can it be to have free will? So Job had known of God, but only through it says Job had known of God, but only through his trials and his obedience did he experience God personally. And that's how we are. So, we can know God or know about God. We can, not even know what the trials felt like. We didn't know what Jesus's trials felt like until we got to come down here and experience a little taste of it ourselves. It says, my ears have heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you. And that's part of the experience, is seeing from the perspective out of darkness into the light, out of hatred, seeing the love. And you may see the hatred in people. I mean, personally get to experience it. Someone hating you, someone stabbing you, someone talking bad about you. And you experience that and those emotions, what that feels like. Well, that's the teaching. That you've been sent here to do that. You've been sent here, and it's going to grow you. It's going to expand you, especially with your responses. So he says, in this world, I've sent you to the world, and you're going to have trouble. You're going to have tribulation. But take courage. I've conquered the world. And he's going, I've conquered it, and so can you. I've overcome that world. So go down there. You can do it. And I can just see him patting us on the back going, you know, it's not as hard as it looks. We get down here and go, yeah, right. Right. Let's sit down and talk some more. So we came here knowing we would have tribulation, but in that experience, we have the chance to be an overcomer. We have a chance to conquer. We have a chance, not people, the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life, the pride that the life is our own and we'll do what we want to do. That's what we've come here to do, to expand. So no opposition is very slow growth without an opposing force, without the opposition. So why are we here on planet Earth? We are here in Earth School to learn, grow, and expand in our knowledge, our wisdom, and our understanding of life and truth. The opposites of death, lies, darkness, and destruction are not known by souls on the other side of the veil. We have heard about them from fellow Earth inhabitants in their prior incarnations, but hearing about something is not the same level of learning as experiencing the thing. The experience will teach you, and then you can and will appreciate life as you will have fully experienced death. We come down here dead in trespasses and sins. When you put on the old Adam to come here, you're experiencing death. You will be able to more fully appreciate love after your stint in Earth School, as you will have experienced hate in your incarnation here on one of the most difficult schools to attend, which is planet Earth, the School of Souls. Your life here must be experienced with an amnesia or forgetfulness in all that you really are and had and did before you came here. The influences here of negative spirits or energies enslaving you and driving you to do, driving you what to do, driving you to say some certain things and to be certain ways. What they want, the enslavers, the slave masters, what they want, which is to kill, steal, and destroy yourself and other souls. And they use us all in their unawakened, unaware, and uninformed state to do their work. So everybody that's unawakened, unaware, uninformed, they are avatars. They are, the puppet master is basically using them to say terrible things out of their mouth, to be terrible to each other. And that's what we've been sent here to not do. We've been sent here to overcome that, to overcome these energies, these spirits that are trying to use us to kill, steal, and destroy. We are here to grow and expand, and without the opposition of the adversaries. Adversary is also known as Satan. There would not be the same opportunity for growth. Without the dissension into the lower levels of darkness, nor the opportunity for ascension into the higher levels of light that this planet gives its inhabitants, the fast growth does not occur. So we've been sent here so that we could have faster growth. The journey from class to class is full of feelings and emotions and choosing which is for the soul's training. Without the soulish condition of emotions, feelings, and free will, ruled by the negative energies of thoughts and imaginations, including dreams and visions that are not always true and certainly not from God and life, we would never know or understand the reasons that souls choose or are driven to do evil and kill and hate and destroy other souls in fleshly bodies or earth suits. So without these emotions and feelings and us going through them and us feeling like, I just want to kill them, Yeah, give me a gun. I'll go after them. And that free will of, I just know that I'm bigger and badder than them. And all of those energies that are telling us to kill, steal, and destroy, and us coming down here and if we're awakened saying, no, quit your killing. That is not what you went there for. You came to bring life, light, and love. And we're like, but I feel like I need to do this. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, also known as Satan, your opposing force, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Well, he may devour us and has devoured us probably at times, but opposing forces strengthen us. So here we are, and we're pulled one way or the other. We're always being pulled into darkness or light, being pulled into by negative spirits or by positive spirits. And that's how we get strong. That's how we get strong, by choosing who are we going to serve, which power are we going to serve. So understanding the journey of being here in Earth School, once we see, hear, and feel these negative thoughts and emotions ruling us and our failures as we have participated with them, our mercy and our compassion increases for other souls, and we grow and expand into much higher, loving, caring beings of expanded light. We are here to learn and grow into higher consciousness of God, which is love. And the best teacher is experience. I can learn from book reading and even simulation game playing. But until I personally experience the feelings and have the free will choice to choose the good and love and refuse the evil and hate, I did not know how emotions and feelings of soul and body, nor understand nor appreciate the difficulty of resisting evil and choosing good. See, I might have learned it, and they said, okay, this is what you're going to go through once you get there. Now, you know, you got free will. You can freely choose the good. You can freely choose not to hate. But you're going to feel like hating. You're going to be persuaded to hate. You're going to be, used to kill, steal, and destroy if you allow yourself, but you don't have to allow yourself. Now, in my failures, I need mercy. And so I learn to give mercy. In my tests and failures of those tests, I learn and expand compassion for myself and others that have also failed the test. I learn that I fail and I fail and I fail some more, and then I have to give myself some compassion. Have mercy on me, Lord, and give myself some mercy and some grace. It is like you must become a warrior here in order to have any hopes of overcoming any of the obstacles and challenges that are presented to you on a day-by-day basis here. When we were only in the presence of light, life, and love, and other benevolent spirits, we did not understand the capacity for spirits to fall from that consciousness and be darkened evil spirits. Once we come here and have our own opportunities for choosing evil, and many times we do choose that, suddenly the evil entities, the fallen angels, fallen spirits, dark and separated souls make sense to us. Because once it happens to us, we'll go, man, why did I do that? What got me to talk like that to people? I feel terrible, especially when I feel what I made them feel. Well, most people don't have that feeling of what other people feel. They absolutely are so hard-hearted. Their love is so waxed cold. They absolutely have no feelings for how they treat other people and what they're doing, and come to find out what we're doing to them, we're doing to ourselves. Everything I do to them and make them feel is coming back to me. What I do to them, what you do to the least of these, you're doing to Jesus. What you do to Jesus, you're doing to God. It says, before awakened, the thoughts of evil ruled him. And this is Job 42. I know, he finally said, I know now that you can do everything and that no thought can be withheld from you. I thought my thoughts were okay. I thought, hey, I can think it as long as I don't say it. No, thoughts create too. And he says, now I know that No thought can be withheld from you. He says, my ears have heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you. Therefore I despise myself and repent in dust and ashes. So he repents while in the earth suit of dust. And that's, we've been sent here to awaken, to repent, turn from that, and to be an overcomer. And that's why we came here. Our graduation from Earth School. This understanding makes us want to return home to love, life, light, and life, and appreciate what we've been freely given as sons and daughters of God. We are then so thankful and grateful for the good gods of love, which equal the 111, and they are all one, and appreciate our true heavenly spiritual parents that protect us and keep us in their household of heaven, the spirit of light. I say, give me heaven as a spiritual being and never let me descend again to the level of soul, as I would rather learn from the higher forms of ascension rather than the lower forms of descension. I would rather be above rather than below. Now that I have participated through schooling of experience the below realm, I say I look forward to graduating from planet Earth School. My graduation day comes when I have chosen to love, which means be kind, patient, and long suffering, rather than hate, which is love's opposite, being unkind, being impatient, being short suffering. I choose to die to the old me of soul and get to the resurrection of the spirit me, which, remember, it's appointed unto man. Adam wants to die, then the resurrection. I choose. Let me die. I love not my life unto the death. Let that old me die. I now live a life of giving others freedom from my controlling, overbearing, selfish, self-centered way of a darkened soul. My blind, deaf Helen Keller days. See, that's what I was. I mean, my controlling, I was self-centered. Everything was, my world revolved around me, myself, and I. Let me pass the test and graduate and never have to return to this school again. I may, however, choose to come to Earth School as a teacher in future times to help my fellow spirits put off the Adamic soul so that we can all ascend up together into much higher forms of consciousness. Until we are all returned to God, which is love, then part of ourselves is still missing and wanderers and must be reconnected to the whole as one. So remember that Jesus must reign until God is all in all. And remember, we're one with him. So I'll give you John 17:17-23. It says, make them holy by your truth. Make them separated by your truth, which means we're going to have to fight and contend for the truth. Teach them your word, which is truth. Just as you sent me into the world. We've been sent. Why were we here? We've been, just as you've sent me into the world, I am sending them into the world. That's why some of us are here, because he sent us into the world. And I give myself as a holy sacrifice for them so that they can be made holy by your truth. I am saying not only for these disciples, but for all who will ever believe in me through their message. Just like the disciples that Jesus was teaching and still teaches, he disciples us. Well, then we go out and we disciple, and the people will believe through our message, through the messengers of God. Some of us have been sent here to be messengers, but how much processing and experience did it take to us to get to be a messenger? I pray that they will all be one, just as you and I are one, as you are in me, Father, and I am in you, that they will be in us so that the world will believe that you sent me. I have given them the glory that you gave me, so that they may be one as we are one. I am in them and you are in me. May they experience such perfect unity that the world will know that you sent me and that you love them as much as you love me, the Prince of Peace. That's Etienne's picture of Jesus, the Prince of Peace. So that's why we're here. We're here for many, many reasons. This is part one. This is why we are here. A lot of people are starting to wake up and ask that question, why am I even here? And they've lived life sometimes in just terrible situations at home, terrible situations in marriages, terrible situations in the families with fighting and fightings within and fightings without, and saying, it's not worth it. I don't even want to be here. And of course, some of them don't endure to the end, and they go ahead and commit suicide because they can't take it here. But if we do endure to the end of this thing, we and get through this experience, this schooling, there are some great rewards because we can be co-laborers together. We've been sent to help him to return souls back to love. So that's why we're here. So thank you for joining me today, and more to come on this.